really seem to have for, God, a decade now or so, right? So I guess I'm wondering, how do you, at this point in your career, how do you keep your training, how do you keep your fight weeks from getting stale when all you have is big fights, is co-main events, is title fights, et cetera, et cetera?
It's I don't know, video games, movies. Um, Fighting is just one part of fight week. Try to make sure I still am actively engaged in other things. So
I mean, I know you have a lot going
make
on.
light of the week, yeah.
Sure. I know you have a lot going on outside of the fight world too. I mean, does that play into it as well? Your mind's always in a bunch of other places?
Um, Sometimes that can be the case. Truthfully, it's just about uh, I don't know. I was just talking with another fighter, and he says he just stays in his room as much as he can. This is like pre-COVID.
Mhm.
Just stays in his room the whole fight week. I was like, man, I'd never do that. I think I just enjoy. I like to be in a new city, walk around. I don't know, go see a movie, get to see some of the town, and then tighten up when it's time to tighten up.
Sure. You get an opponent this week who's coming off a title shot. He came up
Mhm.
short. You're both looking to get back into that title shot opportunity. Talk me through a little bit about what he brings to the table, what you're able to see out of him in the shot that he did have.
Yeah, no, Julius is he's a tough fighter. He swings for the fences. He's one of those guys that's he's ready to make a nice title run, and yeah, he's overall just really good at everything. He doesn't have any gaping holes in his game. So when I get a hold of a guy like that, it's all kind of a game time feel. I have to feel him out a little bit, see where I can exploit a little bit of weakness. But from the outside, there's not a lot of. I mean, he has no holes really.
He's going to have the hometown pop from the
Hmm.
fans. You've been through that before too. It's been a few years though, I guess, right? Hasn't it?
Since the show in State
Yeah, the
College
state.
or
Let's go with the state college show.
Okay, yeah.
Um, how did that feel for you that week? And is that something that was a distraction to you, and that you wonder if maybe that'll be a distraction to him on Saturday night?
I mean, I don't know about distraction. I mean, I was 10 years removed from State College when I fought in State College. I still have plenty of friends there, and obviously Penn State is still there. But many of the people that I knew when I lived there had left. So he lives here. He's from here. So I think it's a little bit different, but I don't know. It can be distracting fighting in your hometown, but it can also be, you can get a lot of energy from the crowd. So I can see it going both ways. I personally, I think I shine when I'm under that pressure of being, in hostile territory. There could be some home field advantage, but I feel like I do some of my best performances in hostile territory. Um, it's a lot of times when I'm the underdog in hostile territory. It doesn't matter. I'm going to show up. I'm going to perform. I'm going to do what I do.
Given your ranking, I guess, and his, it's a reasonable assumption that the winner is right there to face the winner of the champ and Corey Anderson. Do you feel like that is where you stand going into this fight, or have you learned to sort of separate that stuff out, being that you're a veteran who's been through this, a lot of times before, and just think about the fight in front of you and not worry about that just yet?
Right. I mean, if you're in the top 5, top 6, you can be fairly close to a title shot at any moment. Mr. Angelicus learned that already. He just got called up, and he said yes, absolutely. So I mean, just being 2 and 4, of course we're in that talk. We don't know really what's going on with Mr. Johnson. We don't know what's going on. Hopefully, Mr. Nemkov is still going to be able to make it to the fight and have a great performance. We're praying for that. We want that to happen. But anything can happen in the world and also in the fight game. So, my job is very simple: show up Saturday, beat somebody up, get my hand raised.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Phil, you said that you're a one-man quest for greatness. That was a tagline that you had. You're going into your 14th year as a pro. How would you define greatness at this point in your career versus greatness when you came into Bellator in 2015?
That was read straight off of Instagram's bio, right? Yes. Okay. All right. Just making sure you didn't pull that from another interview. How would I define greatness? Greatness is found in small things, in your habits, and I'm constantly trying to upgrade my habits. I still have some, not to get too. I still have some bad habits. I know I can do better on. So it's all about having the highest level of habits. I want to have the best habits possible. Then I'll have the best performances, and I'll have a legacy I can be very proud of.
Habits are important.
Mm-hmm.
Sounds like that's something that you focus on a lot. Have you read Atomic Habits by James Clear? Is that something that you have looked into with doing the small things well?
I have. It's a great book.
Agreed. Last question.
Out of all the habit books, you chose that book, though. There's lots of books on habits, and I've only read one.
It's a good book.
It is.
Known for helping with habits. Aztec Boxing Club. Tell us about your involvement there and how they've helped you with this camp.
Aztec Boxing Club. So that's home base. That's where I do most of my work. I have a couple other gyms I work out of periodically, but that's where I go for most of my workouts. That's my 9 to 5. I get there early, occasionally go late, and that's where I work.
Hey, Phil.
Mm-hmm.
You said recently that the road to the title for Julius runs directly through you, and you feel that he's going to be trying to make a name off of you. What's more of a motivator for you, to try and stop someone from making a name off your brand? Or was it more motivating when you were in Julius's shoes and you were making your first run for the title?
Is it more motivating being the underdog?
Yeah,
or
exactly, to try to, yes.
Not. Oh man. Okay, I'm going to give you a little bit of truth here.
Okay, good.
A lot of times people ask me questions and I tell you what you want to hear. I don't like, my level of motivation is so consistent, whether I am underdog or overdog, but I will completely give you the answer you need to hear there. 100%. You don't want to get beat up. You're going out in front of the world and a little bit more to some draws, and you don't want to get beat up. That will never change about this job. So whether I go out and prepare more or less, I prepare the same.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Also, you're going to be making your 14th Bellator appearance on Saturday, which is the most in the history of the light heavyweight division. I've heard you say that you would never risk your brand or stay in the game just for a paycheck. So
absolutely.
I'm just curious, how much longer would you like to compete and try to widen the gap between you and everyone else with these records that you're setting?
I feel like when you've set a date like for example, we all know this person, or you know, maybe that was you way back when you're in high school, and you're like, you know, we're both going to go away and fall to different schools, so we'll break up at the end of summer. So you've effectively set a breakup date, and you're just going to work and be disappointed until that date. Like that doesn't work. And maybe I've checked out already. You know how much you've probably worked other jobs. Like, how much do you really work after you give your 2 weeks notice? You know, like I don't know how that really goes. Once you set that date, like I'm done, like you're done much sooner. You've probably already contemplated it more, you know, far too long just to be able to say it out loud. So to answer your question, I don't know, not because I'm not telling you. I truthfully don't know. But when I do know, I will most likely tell you, and it will already be too late.
You'll let me know.
Yeah. It will already be too late.
All right, thanks for taking my questions, Phil. Good luck Saturday.
All right, we'll take one question from a couple different media members, so just keep it to one each, starting with Andrew.
Hey, Phil, big fan, man. Congratulations on a great performance on your last fight. Now, with this fight coming up, I was just curious. I mean, obviously, you know that Nemkov seems to be your kryptonite in this division. Do you think that third and final fight is the match that you want maybe to just end the career or continue going?
Kind of a version of what he said, but you know, honestly, I don't care. I would love to fight Nemkov a third time just to get the W, but I don't think that would be the end point either. Man, he's such a tough competitor. He's a great competitor, and I wouldn't stop there even after a win, getting the title back.
Luis?
Hi, Phil. I'm Luis from MMA Pit, and you have 14 years as professional. You already fought against legends of the sport. Obviously, you want to be champion, but besides that big goal, do you have another goals in your mind or achievements in your already very impressive career?
I like to wake up every day. I like to read. I love training people. I'm a fan of the sport, and I'm also a competitor. So, you know, outside of becoming a champion again, I enjoy what I do, and I just love putting on great performances. So even without the track of going back towards a belt, I just love winning. I love competing, and I love being in front of the Bellator fans.
Ben?
Hey, Phil, your deli in California,
Mm-hmm.
Hungry Hanks, adds such a unique wrinkle in your journey. I'm curious what pivots you've needed to make in the current climate to keep the restaurant thriving and how much enjoyment running the shop has brought to you.
Wow. So glad you asked that. So Hungry Hanks of San Diego, or Chula Vista more specifically. So man, it is incredibly hard running a restaurant in these times, all throughout COVID. As you know, everyone, whether you've been going to the grocery store, if you have ordered out a pizza, anything whatsoever, food costs have dramatically changed in the last 2 years, and it's been across the board, item by item, and just in general. So it's hard to making sure that you provide a fair price to your customers, but at the same time, man, like right now, avocados are like they're like $65, and everyone in California likes an avocado on the sandwich. So it's just crazy right now. We're going through an avocado crisis right now. My wife's trying to plant avocados in the backyard. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Best of luck, Phil.
Santiago?
Good afternoon, Phil. Thank you for the time. You've been around for a while at Bellator MMA. You've seen a lot of light heavyweights come and go. What do you see right now if you look at the light heavyweight division, and why do you think it's a bit hard for the young and up-and-comers to get in the rankings?
You know, I think it's case by case. Each person has a different story, but you know, I think we have a really tough group of light heavyweights in Bellator right now. I think we are the best light heavyweights in the world, um, and I think the group that we have right now, I think they are going to be the ones to carry the torch forward for the sport of MMA, for the you know, the world of light heavyweights. This group that we have are the best.
Good luck on fight night, sir.
Thank you.
Dylan,
Hey there, Phil. I appreciate you making some time.
Thank you.
I'm just curious because, you know, Chula Vista was mentioned, and it seems like you really take a great level of pride in being a part of that local community. Like, can you speak to just how much that brings to your life, being interwoven in the community and just contributing and everything?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, it's just kind of how I was raised, you know, never to be, you know, just a singular person, always to be a part of the community. And I really enjoyed growing up in central Pennsylvania, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And I love my Penn State community, State College community. It was such a, there's a very vibrant community of both some craziness, but also a lot of productiveness for just social justice and just for learning. And now in San Diego, I've tried to connect myself in so many different ways. You know, local chamber of commerce and working, just working to be involved in other businesses along the same Third Avenue where my business is located, because you know, when other businesses win, my business wins, but also when other people win, I win, just being a part of a community. So, and that's what it's all about, is just loving people and loving them well.
all right. Thank you very much, Phil. Appreciate the time.
Recording stopped.